Okay, if you've never heard of the female serial killer who may have faked her own death, listen up, because this one's a doozy. And I actually plan on covering this full episode on my podcast, True Crime Wife by Jess, in a few weeks. So if you find this short story interesting, I'm going to be deep diving into it. In 1908, a farmhouse in Laporte, Indiana, burned to the ground. Inside the ruins, investigators found the bodies of 3 children and the headless body of a woman. Everyone assumed at first, it's Belle Gunness. But was it really? Belle Gunness was born in Norway in 1859 and later moved to the United States, where she settled in Chicago and married Mads Sorensen. But then things around Belle started to get weird or suspicious, or both. The home that she and her husband owned burnt down, and with the money that they received from insurance, they purchased a confectionery store at the corner of Grand Avenue and Elizabeth Street in Chicago. But it mysteriously caught fire. Fires just following them everywhere. But it was okay because they got insurance money from that too. And with that money, they moved to Austin, Illinois and bought a home there. The couple apparently weren't able to have children of their own, so they became foster parents. And they fostered multiple children. Very noble. But maybe not, because in 1896, a foster child named Caroline died. And then in 1898, a foster child named Alex died, both under Belle's care. Allegedly, both died from colitis, or food poisoning. Then, and this one is just suspicious as you know what, Mads had a life insurance policy, and Belle was like, no, it's too small. We need to increase that. So they did. And you know what happened? The day the policies overlapped, Mads died, and Belle got a big insurance payout. And of course, I'm not the only one sitting here thinking that's suspicious, because her neighbors were getting suspicious as well. So she took that money and 3 foster children, Jenny, Myrtle, and Lucy, and moved to Laporte, Indiana. In April of 1902, Belle remarried to Peter Gunness. He had lost his wife recently and had 2 children. Within 1 week of marrying Belle, one of those daughters passed away, and 8 months later, Peter was dead. And guess what his cause of death was? Hopefully you're ready for this, because she told police, and it's not poisoning, she told police he accidentally got hit in the head with a sausage grinder. After Peter died, Belle started putting out personal ads in the newspaper. The ads were looking for good and reliable men to be a partner in her farm. While the exact numbers are unknown, multiple men did visit the farm to speak with Belle. One of those men was Andrew Helgelian. I don't know how to say his name. Helgelian. We're going to call him Andrew. He was a Norwegian farmer from South Dakota. Andrew ended up giving Belle a large amount of money to be a partner in the farm. They went to the bank together, and Belle took the money in all cash from the check. And shortly after, Andrew disappeared. His brother, back in the Dakotas, was like, I'm really worried about my brother. And he tried reaching out to Belle because he found letters between them. And Belle claimed Andrew hadn't been there. But the bank told Andrew's brother that they had seen him there with Belle. So during this whole time period, Belle had hired another farmhand, Joe Maxon, and this was in 1908. Now, Andrew's brother kept contacting Belle, and it was on April 27th, 1908, that Belle went to her attorney to write up her will. Not sure why she chose that day, but the very next day, we're talking April 28th, 1908 at 4 a.m., Joe Maxon, the farmhand, woke up to smoke in the house. Allegedly, he tried to wake up Belle and the family, but he was unsuccessful, so he went to get the fire department. But by the time they got on scene, the home was engulfed, and they later found the bodies of the 3 children in the basement. Yeah, they were found in the basement next to the body of a woman who was headless. After the fire, Andrew's brother came to the farm to try to get answers regarding his brother's disappearance, because his brother's still missing, and he and Joe started looking around the ruins and the farm in general, and they discovered something pretty horrific. The body of Andrew in a gunny sack. So obviously they contacted the police, and the Laporte County Sheriff's Office got involved, and they dug around the property and discovered 13 more bodies. Now, someone we didn't talk about was Ray Lamprey. He had been a farmhand who had got fired by Belle and was trespassed from the property. He ended up getting arrested and charged with arson and murder. In November 1908, they had a trial, and he was convicted of arson but not of murder. And from the information available, even if he was convicted of murder, who did he murder? No one has been charged for the 13 bodies that were found on the property, and there's still the mystery of the woman's body found in the basement. There were some dental records that they checked, and maybe that could have been Belle, but the woman found in the fire, she was missing her head. And almost immediately people questioned, like, okay, it should be her, but is it her? Some reports said that the body was smaller than Belle. Like I said, the dental work found in the ruins was linked to her, but even that didn't fully prove that the body was hers, because some believed she could have planted it. And there were those who claimed she had faked her own death with the help of farmhands. There's a whole lot more to this, by the way. So like I said, I'm going to be deep diving into this case because I find it very intriguing. Oh, and later DNA testing was inconclusive. So yeah, officially she was presumed dead, but for years, people claimed that they saw her all over the country. So the question is still there. More than a century later, did Belle Gunness die in that fire? Or did one of America's most notorious female serial killers stage the perfect escape? This is a crazy story with a lot of questions and a lot of tragedy that all seem to follow Belle Gunness. I'm curious what her will was changed to the day before the fire. If anyone has any additional info on this one, let me know. And give me a follow if you want to see more stories like this. And if you have a story you want to see covered, comment below or just comment your town. You could be next.